If you try watching Bluey without laughing out loud, well, good luck with that. This show is just way too funny. Can you remember all the times the Healer family made you smile, or even almost pee your pants from laughing so hard?
Well, how hard can this be?
Let's start with that one day when Muffin Cupcake Healer went on a full-blown rampage because she didn't want to share a video call with her little sister Socks. Bluey and Bingo's cousins wanted to play with the drawing feature on the phone, but Muffin wasn't too keen on the idea of giving others a turn. Let's be real, she's not exactly the easiest pup to get along with. When Uncle Stripe loses his patience and takes the phone away, Muffin bolts like her life depends on it, because in her mind, it totally does. She wants to be free from rules. And Bandit, watching the chaos unfold, finds it so hilarious that he actually starts rooting for his niece to win the race. Things take a turn for the worse when Uncle Stripe and Aunt Trixie finally catch the little troublemaker, only for Bandit's brother's phone to slip out the window and land straight in the pool. And guess what? It wasn't waterproof. Sure, Muffin definitely needs to learn some manners, but let's be honest, it was hilarious. And the best part? You're about to laugh all over again with the 17 funniest Bluey moments. So grab your popcorn and be careful not to pee your pants, because this is Cinewave. The episode Favorite Thing has some of the funniest moments in the Bluey universe, but we're here to talk about the ending. After Bingo gets upset over one of Bluey's jokes, the whole Healer family tries their best to make things right. Of course, in the end, everything works out, but not before that infamous scene of Daddy Healer kissing a hippo's rear end. Here's a little tip: don't kiss the butts of animals that don't clean themselves. Actually, don't kiss anyone's butt. That's just weird. Luckily, in the episode, it was just a pretend moment, but unfortunately, Bandit has no problem being genuinely gross in real life, especially at the end of the episode when he takes a sip of water only to spit it out through both his mouth and nose after hearing one of Bingo's jokes. At least we can say one thing, Mr. Healer definitely knows how to liven up a dinner. This one's for the girls. Nothing's funnier than making dad suffer just a little, right? Okay, maybe that's a little mean, but you have to admit it's hilarious. There's actually an episode of Bluey that was banned from Disney+, but you can still find it on YouTube. It's called Dad Baby, and it tells the story of the day Bingo found a baby carrier. Of course, Bluey came up with a game where Bandit had to pretend to be pregnant. So far, so good, until Chili decided to give her husband the full experience, struggling to move, getting kicked from the inside, and of course, giving birth. This scene would already be hilarious on its own, but it gets even crazier when Bingo refuses to be born, forcing Bluey to call in reinforcements, aka Lucky's dad, their neighbor, to help finish the game. The sight of two dog dads acting out childbirth in a kiddie pool is already comedy gold, but it gets even better when their other neighbor, Wendy, walks by and freaks out. Poor Chow Chow lady. Doesn't she realize the Healers take their games very seriously? Is Disney against comedy? Because they deleted another hilarious scene from an episode where Bluey and Indy go to an outdoor market. The two pups are trying to figure out how to spend their $5, and one of the coolest things at the market is a pony dressed as a unicorn. Disney might have removed this scene because it was too funny, but don't worry, we've got you covered. When Bluey realizes she can't go for a ride on the rainbow-colored pony, Buttermilk, she decides to just pet it instead. Big mistake. Because instead of a friendly nuzzle, Buttermilk rewards her with a mountain of poop. Yep, right then and there, in all its smelly glory. Indy and Bluey are so freaked out that they take off running. Can you blame them? Sometimes it really seems like someone's slipping something extra into Muffin's milk. Remember that time she showed up acting totally off at Bluey's house? In episode 39 of season 1, Uncle Stripe brings Muffin over for a sleepover with her cousins. But the moment they arrive, something's seriously wrong with her. She looks like she's just been electrocuted. She runs around like crazy, says a bunch of nonsense, and causes total mayhem, more than usual. Turns out she skipped nap time, and now she desperately needs sleep. But Bluey, determined to stay up late, just makes things worse. Skipping naps is never a good idea, but watching Bandit and Chili chase after their wild niece? Now that was comedy gold. What about you? Do you skip naps too? Drop a hashtag sleepy in the comments so we can find each other. If you love seeing Bandit embarrass himself, then you need to watch the episode Fairies. When Mr. Healer is rude to Bingo, a fairy shows up and starts playing tricks on everyone. To break the curse, Bandit has to do a super embarrassing dance in front of everyone. It's one of the cringiest things ever, and Lucky's dad, he's absolutely losing it watching his friend's humiliation. Did Bandit dance well? The fairy thought so. She lifted the curse. But she also gave us one of the funniest moments in Bluey. In episode 11 of season 2, the Healer pups show just how mean they can be. They decide to play hair salon, but their version is a little different. Bluey diagnoses Bandit with head lice and orders him to take an ice-cold bath. Poor dad. Then they start whacking him all over. And you know what the cruelest part is? Bandit has to pretend he still has lice just so Bingo can have her turn at being evil. We really feel for Bandit, but when Bingo excitedly suggests tying him to a tree and pelting him with water balloons and flour, it's impossible not to laugh. Everyone knows Bandit is one of the best characters in the show, if not the funniest, and in the episode Pavlova, he outdoes himself. Bingo really wants to eat some pavlova, but Chili says no. That's when Bandit suddenly throws on a weird mustache and starts speaking French, acting like a fancy waiter who serves everything except what his daughter actually wants. Finally, after messing around for long enough, he does serve the dessert, but instead of letting Bingo enjoy it, he drenches it in ketchup. Was it any good? In the episode Dance Mode, one of the funniest scenes happens right in the middle of traffic when Bingo gets the power to force her parents to do an embarrassing dance in front of everyone. Bluey convinces her sister to use this power right there on the street, and Chili has no choice but to bust out some ridiculous moves in front of all the cars. And just when you think it can't get worse, Wendy and Lucky's dad happen to be there too, laughing their heads off at poor Mrs. Healer's public humiliation. In the episode Horsey Ride, Bandit and Stripe get completely used by the kids, because apparently the girls need to put on a wedding. Let's be real, Healer dads go through a lot just to keep their kids happy. But the best part? They turn Uncle Stripe into a horse bride, complete with a veil and glitter on his nose. Maybe that's why, when it comes to say I do, the horse bride suddenly ditches the wedding to watch a cricket game on TV. I mean, between marrying Bandit and watching sports, what time was the wedding again? Actually, now's the perfect time for you to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. New videos every day! In the Easter episode, there's one scene that's both gross and hilarious. The pups have to follow clues to find their Easter eggs. The problem? One of the clues is in the bathroom, right when Bandit is in there taking an extra stinky poop. It's already tough watching Bluey struggle through this challenge, but when she nearly passes out from the smell, that's comedy gold. At least she got her chocolate in the end. In the episode Unicorse, when Bluey doesn't want to go to bed, there's a scene that's both shocking and hilarious, at least for people who enjoy dark humor. Bandit's puppet is incredibly rude. Everyone knows that. But when Bluey asks what he likes to eat, the puppet looks straight at her and answers, "Children." That was way too much, Bandit. Do it again!
Children.
Ever wondered what it would be like to see Bandit completely humiliate himself during an important moment? In the mini-episode Archaeology, Mr. Healer is invited to give a serious lecture. He proudly presents a bone that should be proof of an incredible discovery, but at the end of his speech, he decides to do what any dog would do with a bone. He bites it, and when you realize that bone might have belonged to another dog, it gets way grosser. But the joke? Still top tier. In the episode's onesies, we discover something very important about Bingo. Leopard print onesies make her aggressive. Out of nowhere, she attacks Bandit, who was just trying to say hello to Aunt Brandy. Later, Bandit dramatically pretends to be devoured while lying next to the car. But honestly, he gets bored, so he just plays on his phone while Bingo continues hunting her victims. The funniest part? Bandit keeps telling Bingo she needs to stay in character. But shouldn't he do the same? In the episode Mums and Dads, when Indy and Rusty pretend to break up, Indy decides to marry one of the Terriers. Her plan? To have a pretend husband who will take care of Polly, her little baby. The problem? The Terrier has zero interest in raising a child. What he really wants is to grab a sword and charge into battle during a castle invasion. And you know what's even funnier? He takes the baby into battle with him. But he loses the fight, and Indy completely freaks out when she sees Polly get flung across the battlefield like a rag doll. Good thing Polly isn't a real baby. Seriously, never take a baby into your sword fights. Those things are dangerous. In this mini-episode, Bandit proves just how evil he can be. Chili is exhausted and just wants to relax with some calming music. But Mr. Healer? He has other plans. He brings Unicorse back, and just as Chili and the pups are getting comfortable, the puppet uses the voice command on the speaker and tells it to play heavy metal. Not exactly the peaceful vibe she was going for. This scene is way more annoying than funny, but let's be real, it's impossible not to laugh. Being a mom is hard work, and Chili, she has a lot of patience. In the episode Sticky Gecko, we see Mrs. Healer struggling just to get the kids ready. And then, disaster strikes. She accidentally steps on a toy, and it hurts like crazy. This scene is so funny to watch, and if you laughed, yeah, your sense of humor is definitely on the dark side. You know what's even funnier to watch? Our channel. That's why we picked 2 more videos for you to enjoy. See you in the next one. Catch you later.